Vali is going to be the unit that will not die, and Alfador is very interesting. And I'm curious to see how he plays out. We're going to talk about all of this. This is great stuff. I need to know in the comments, are you summoning now, or are you waiting for the new book to see what happens? Let's just jump into it, though. And we have the second coming of Eitri, also known as, the demon gremlin here. And of course, the little plushy Balder, which is the highlight. Okay, things have completely changed from what her in-game weapon was. And what they did is they took things and they kind of spread it out. The first thing we have is Enraptured God. And this is interesting. So we have null effective against flyer. You have close counter and speed +3. And here's where it gets interesting. Combat support for allies within 3 spaces. You grant attack speed +5 and enables distant/close counter. This is a drive distant counter that you can put on a unit. That is really incredible and has some interesting implications that I want to play with. I don't know if that part is going to be meta, but I love that it exists in the game. The next portion we have is a drive miracle for allies within 3 spaces. And if ally has, you've seen miracle. After combat restores 40 HP. So this is Lena, but on, Dark Season. And then grants great talent equals attack speed +10. And then this only triggers 1 time per map and shares trigger with other miracle effects. So the thing is that this is the right thing to do with great talent. We're going to talk about this more because we see great talent again, but this is the right way to implement it. The problem with Alphonse, and I think we all loved the concept. The issue was that it took so long and it didn't have a really good way of getting started. You had to kill units for that to go well. And the problem is the first unit you take out is always the hardest. So he'd get stronger as he went on, but the opponents got weaker at that point. It was very anti-synergistic. This is not. I like this use of great talent quite a bit, and it is very, very interesting. So, past that. Start of combat, you get a bonus of 14. You get no bonuses. You get true damage equals X. And we'll go over the calculations. This is kind of complicated, but it's actually a lot of true damage with the way this unit works. And then special piercing equals 50%. And you're going to be proccing the special a lot, by the way. Okay, so next up, we'll go a little further. We have a couple other things, but the highlight here is Invincible Sister. And so this is a 5 cooldown special. This is going to be important in a second. She did not have slaying, so it stays as a 5 count special. And when special triggers, you survive a lethal hit, and yeah, that's great. It's miracle. So after combat, you get Preempt Pulse -5, which is fantastic. Healing of 40 HP, and then you get the great talent that you just saw on the weapon. If unit initiated, grants another action, and that's going to be important. And that's once per enemy or player phase. So start a phase at player phase or enemy phase. Not nesty. You get Preempt Pulse -5 and you heal 40 HP. Okay, so you're always going to have this ready unless some sort of scowl affects you. So that's important. That can happen, but that is something to consider. Scowl is going to be a big thing against this unit. Past that, follow up attack effects. You get true damage equal to 50% foe's attack plus attack speed, great talent. Damage reduction of 40% of speed. Nice. This is flat DR. And then scowl -2. And then great talent max equals 20, which is that's crazy. So that's actually the second hit where that would actually trigger off. Then there's one thing that I glossed over too quickly. So that is miracle, but if your miracle triggers, then you're not doing damage. And that sounds bad, but hold that thought because it is actually kind of incredible. Because next we have attack speed Arya. That has true damage based on your your special proccing. And we have Speed Res Shackle, which also has true damage. Keep that in mind. And then Null Uplift Attack Speed. And this is an incredible C skill. I like this one a lot. For units and allies within 3 rows, 3 columns centered on unit, you get attack speed +5 in combat, and unit and ally deal an additional +5 damage during combat. Remember, that's a drive. This is a drive true damage that you can put on any flyer. This is specific to flyers. And also, you get no follow-up. Speed-based no follow-up. But that's pretty incredible. No follow-up right now it's no longer an easy to get thing. We used to just write it off as, oh, we'll plop that on as a bonus. Bonuses have lost some value, and we'll talk about that in just a second, because I know that's going to sound counterintuitive to any of you who have gone ahead and watched what happens, but we'll talk about that momentarily. So I really want to get into the damage analysis because we need to talk about how this unit is going to work. Now, you're going to see an 82 on the true damage, and I need to explain what is going on and why they did this unit the way that they did. What you will want on this unit is treachery. Absolutely. This unit is going to go in and try to smack whatever big bad is out there, and what that big bad is going to destroy them. The flat DR of 17 really does nothing. I actually think I'm a little low on that, but regardless, it's not going to be enough to really save this unit. Tanks hit very, very hard right now.
But I'm begging you.
So it's going to just destroy this unit. This unit then won't take damage and won't give out any damage, but will proc Great Talent. And the combination of the attack speed Great Talent adds into the true damage. But you also lost a ton of life because you just got hit and knocked all the way down to Miracle status. And with Treachery, that's going to add on approximately 80 boosted damage. This unit is going to hit incredibly hard on defense. I don't think this is going to be a Summoner Duels unit. I don't think you all have to worry about her there. Just the way this unit works, this is very, very Aether Raids coded. Guys, that's a lot. That is a ton of damage, and I think folks are sleeping on how much it is right now. I didn't realize it until I got in and started doing the math, and this unit is already 100 effective attack and 88 effective speed. This unit is going to come in and just smash things. And keep in mind, this is not like the usual Miracle. Brave attacks don't affect this unit. Any damage taken during that, if they could hit you back 4 times, and this unit would not die. So, I mean, obviously this unit is either going to then take out the big bad or going to go out and try to hit something on the back line because they've moved up. This is a devious unit and is going to really make it even more difficult to enemy phase in what is light season right now. It is just flat out mean. Flat out mean. And if you love the Turbo Gremlin and her, 30-foot boulder plushie that she has, I have them. So I have them for sale. You can grab them on the store. I think this is hilarious. Let's get back to the episode. So let's get to the dark rankings. And this is kind of a bold statement. I think this is the most powerful dark mythic that we have. I like this unit better than Baldur. I think because of the drives this unit provides, both Miracle, which we've seen with Rhea how powerful that is, even though it's only once per turn. Like that's a big deal, but even though you can only use that once, it's still very powerful. But also the drive, distant counter, and distant and close counter is sneaky good. If you want to think about how many times you have done a player phase clear, and at the very end there's an incredibly powerful nuke that you are able to take out because you have, its counter, the melee nuke that takes it out, and then you're just fine. Or vice versa. And, I want you to think about having to take that unit out in one round. And that is something that could be a nice gotcha. The big thing for Baldur, I thought, is that she enabled the destroying of the safety fence. And this unit does that. And I think she does more. I think she has better support. And I think she has better usability versus enemy phase teams. So the combination of those providing support to your folks, and it's very, very good. The only reason Loki is one spot behind is because she does not destroy the safety fence. Loki is incredibly powerful right now, and I have seen her used in both Dark and Anima seasons. In fact, the best Anima defenses that I've seen all use Loki. They're absolutely incredible. Baldur is, in my opinion, she's still very good. I still have her in tier 0, but I would rather have Vali. Just putting that out there. Lorathor has lost some value, which is interesting because he's still a very good unit. These others are, they do more than one thing. So yeah. Loki has good things versus both player phase and enemy phase as far as debuffs go, even if she can't hit hard. Vali has that and hits hard. And then Lorathor, just as good versus enemy phase teams. But man, he's very, very good against them. They're absolutely incredible. We slip down, and I think Medius has actually gained a lot of value, in part because of the Refine. And I think the Refine was good. It wasn't amazing. It was good. But the putting him in the 7th slot and using him with the Corrin Ring to spread more of the Corrin Garden around, and yeah, that and stopping the Bolt Tower, that's incredible. I have, just because of Feud, I still have Embla up here because I really, really love Feud. We drop down with Note. It is possible that I'm even now too high on Note. I'm a sucker for Note. I always loved that unit. I still think there are some cases where you can use her, and the Pathfinder thing is still unique. Then we drop down further, and we've got Hell, whose warping shenanigans have definitely lost value because there's so much of it in the meta right now, but still can be a pain. Same with, you can buff up Bramomond. You can't buff up any of these units in tier 5. And to be fair, Sothis would be in tier 6. So I just ran out of space, and I'm not going to create a separate tier just for Sothis. I thought about just leaving her off, but I love Sothis, and I couldn't do that to her. But yeah, Triandra, Kavasir, and Yoon, they are borderline unusable right now. But let's move on to happier things and talk about ranged nukes. Okay, so this is one of those things. I am assuming that you have treachery on Vali and that it's all working the way I'm saying it's going to. And if I'm wrong, please in the comments, put that down there. I will post a correction, absolutely. But this is where I'm at right now. Now, I'm going to get yelled at. So someone is going to say tier 2 for Lynn is ridiculous. Listen, there's a really big gap between tier 1 and tier 2. Yeah. And she still has some very special things, even though she just can't hit hard. And it drops off quick. So I really should be focusing on tier 0 and tier 1. Know that the gap between tier 1 and tier 2 is pretty significant there. Next, we have Alfador, and this is interesting. I was not expecting Astra Mythic. 100% was not expecting this at all. And right off the bat, they're going to show him just smack something. So, Ethereal Gungnir. Okay, this has Sling, and then start of player or enemy phase grants all bonus effects on foes plus allies to unit for 1 turn. I want you to think about that. That's on the entire map. That is nutty. That's absolutely nutty. Now, does it steal them? The unit still has those, but it gives all of them to this unit. And keep in mind, this is Loki proof, because Loki's stuff is going to go off, and then this unit is going to steal. It's the order of operations is going to work this way. Now there's still problems with that, but we'll talk about that in a second. So, and we have more stuff. So foes within 3 rows and 3 columns, you get burn damage equal to X. X is max of 9, and trust me, you're gonna have 9 most of the time. You get inflicts an Omni -9. You get a follow-up denial, which is better than you think because we just talked about no follow-up not being as common. And then you get a scowl on the enemy, which is cooldown plus X divided by 3 on foe before foe's first attack, which is scowl. So start of combat, you get an Omni 18. You get true damage equal to 20% of res, and damage reduction equals to 20% of res, and then a preempt pulse equals X divided by 3. So usually around 3. That's already really interesting. Like this is already, you're seeing all of the buffs come onto this unit. You're wondering what's coming next. Well, do I have a tale for you? So we have Rally Up Attack Plus. Also, we have Ice Wall, and then we move on to the real nuttiness that's going to happen here. Attack res Aria. Keep in mind the true damage is only on the special there. Defense res Shackle, which with the way this unit is going to be works, it's going to be very interesting. And then we have Covetous One. Okay, you guys are going to love this. Okay, so we have Kanto remaining, minimum of 1. When Kanto triggers, unit can use Smite. So you've got the Shadow Smite, which is really, really nice. You get start of phase, player or enemy phase after Kanto to allies within 3 rows or columns, and unit's res is greater than foe's res plus 5. You're going to want to stack res on this unit. Inflicts attack res -7, exposure, and discord on target plus, splashed within 2. So that's this is fun, right? This is a lot of fun. Now, here's where things get interesting. If unit uses rally or movement assist, deals 1 damage to ally. I don't quite understand that, and if you understand what's going on there, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. I haven't wrapped my head around what the deal 1 damage to ally is. It may be thematic, but it doesn't seem to matter to anything else. But grants all bonus effects on unit to ally. Once per turn, excludes stat bonuses. So this unit got all the bonuses of the world on him, and then he's going to give it away to whatever 1 unit you would like to give it away to. That's fantastic. And then start of combat, you have attack res plus 5, true damage equal to 7, and flat DR equal to 7. This is a lot. I think this unit is going to be hyped up more than they should be. And I am not saying this is a bad unit. I think this unit is a ton of fun. But let's move on down, and I want to look at the damage analysis. So this unit doesn't do a whole lot of damage, but it at least does more than Heimdallr. You got flat DR 25, true damage of 50, boosted damage of 83. This is a nice range. You also got some nice attack, more speed than I thought this unit would have. You do get some nice bonuses there, but yeah, this unit is not really an offensive unit. What this unit is a player phase buffer. And let me explain what I mean. The problem with this unit as an enemy phase buffer is the fact that, well, what's going to happen is that you are going to put all of these buffs on your tank, whatever it is, and then Loki's going to be on the other team because she is just everywhere right now and is going to cleanse them all away. That's the way this is going to go. And so it's going to mean nothing unless you position this unit well, and I'm not sure it's going to be enough. I don't think this unit has as much of an impact on enemy phase unless you find a team without Loki. Without Loki, I think this is a very, very good thing to have, and that is a ton of fun. But anyway, don't forget that most of the time, if you are doing this without a Loki team, you're going to want to initiate in the enemy phase on turn 2. When you're in turn 1, all of the enemy phase bonuses aren't going to be active yet. And so when you go up on your second turn, they will be. They'll steal those, and then you'll be able to go in with that. The problem is I'm not completely sold on the fact that player phase needs a buff right now. It's not to say it's not helpful, and it means you likely will be able to use units that aren't named Camilla as your main initiator. That's a big deal. But I don't see this unit as meta shifting as some of the other units. Even Elm. I'm a huge fan of offensive Elm even now. I think he's fantastic. So I like this unit a lot. And don't well, you know what? Okay, let me we'll go to the tier list. We'll go to the tier list, and I want to make sure you guys know that I'm not dogging on this unit. I am worried that you're going to hear a whole lot of hype about how this unit has ended the game, and we have seen this song and dance before. Tier 1 is hard. Tier 0 is easy. Easy. Crom is amazing. Tier 1 is all about personal preference. Sakura is an incredible unit and so versatile, and that's why she is at the top of this. I still think she can be used in so many places. I have Alfador next, and we're going to have to see how he's used. This is a very interesting thing that we've seen pieces of before, but he works a little differently. Past that, I have Freya, and for a lot of the things that we've been talking about, bonuses have lost a ton of value. You really want to be using drives in most of what you're doing right now. There are ways to cleanse bonuses. There are ways to punish you for having bonuses. So I just keep that in mind. If you stack up a whole bunch of bonuses on your enemy phase unit and Camilla comes in, who is the most prolific unit that we have as a player phase nuke, you are giving her unlimited damage on you. It's a problem. I still think this unit is very, very neat though, and in player phase strats, I think he's going to be absolutely incredible. I also think he's going to be a lot of fun in things like Arena Assault. Freya is very good in specific spots, like the entire thing with basically in combat taking whatever boost you have and whatever stat boost you have and turning it on its head is really neat, along with some other things she does. I like the unit a ton. I think she's really good. As far as tier 2, we went back and forth on this. I like Ingrid a lot. I think Ingrid has some incredible things to her. Rhea has Drive Miracle, which is incredible. I don't want you folks to see tier 3 and think bad unit though. This is one of those things we talk about tier gaps. The gaps in this are very small. Tier 3, I mean, Tharja is still a very good unit and throws a wrench in a lot of people's plans. And Plumeria is an excellent dancer. These are very, very good units. We do have a drop off after that though. We have ways to cleanse that aren't Micaiah, and Freyr is... he can just do cleansing, and if you can do it with other units, then he is less valuable, and that's all there is to it. I do want to move on to Astra rankings. I have him right under Elm, and I may be proven wrong on this. I still love what Elm does, and I still regularly use that unit. Even I have a support build on him where he goes with Barricade and Micaiah Ring, and he's a fantastic support, a fantastic unit, and I think he works well can work well in both phases just for what he does. Huge fan. I have Alfador behind him, but once we get to use him, we may be flipping things around. Right now though, I do have him in that second spot. Tier 1, Plumeria, Sather, and Haether. Plumeria is obvious. Dancer. Sather, because of the safety fence going off on turn 3 right now, gained tons of value. Tons. And Haether giving away treachery, and again, for things going all the way to turn 3 now, suddenly her effects aren't that hard to get. And so she adds a lot to your team and is better than most people think she is. Tier 2, I still have Thor in that first spot, but I'm coming around to Elamine. Freyr is going away. There are a lot of other options, and it's harder and harder to slot him. And because of that, Elamine is actually gaining value. Be on the lookout for this. It's early to boost her up, but right now the arrow is starting to point up. Keep in mind, I mean months ago, at 6 months, she was like down in tier 4, and I didn't have a tier 5 at that point, but she was down pretty far. Neithogr, I still think Neithogr provides some interesting support. I think as a tank right now, just not all that great. And I mean, we all love Icthanir, but I mean, he still does good things, just not as many good things as some of these other units. For tier 3, I've started to see Veil use more, and the Drive Scowl can come in handy. The problem is she's gonna come, well, if you see Byleth on defense, then she's useless, because she has to be within 2 spaces, and Byleth can just, take out your player phase, or take out your enemy phase team just by, snapping the Sword of the Creator over them and smacking people. But yeah, I still like Ratatoskr. I think Ratatoskr has a lot of things that you can do with her, and I think the stopping the warping with her green stuff is very good. So that is still usable. Tier 4 is my poor Naga, who I love, and only beaten in tier 4 by Ashera, who can still put out some decent damage. It's possible I'm a little too low on her. Her use has definitely fallen on the wayside, but I might have needed to have her in tier 3. Right now I have her in tier 4 though. Tier 5, oh, Reagan. Oh, that refine was so bad. Poor Reagan. And then Altina, who, much like Sothis, probably deserved tier 6. That hurts my feelings, but that is the way it is. And that's where we're standing out. So this is the thing. Like, I still think Alfador is a good unit. You've seen my rankings. These are not the way you rank a bad unit, but be very cautious about the hype around him. I've seen this before, and I don't think he is going to be as insane as people say he is, because he's going to make such amazing scam showcases that I'm looking forward to. I want to see the scam showcases. Send them to me. I love watching them. All right, let's talk about the banner as a whole. This is a trap banner. Oh, I hate that. I'm gonna be subbing on this banner. I want these 2 units. I'm hoping that they land in my lap and that they don't take too long to get there. But this is a trap banner. We have the new banner just around the corner. The new book just around the corner, and the new book Mythic has traditionally brought in a lot of change. So just be on the lookout for what that could be. I don't know if that's going to be the case this year, but you want to be careful and make sure you know, because there's always good stuff. So be on the lookout for that. If I'm ranking these, rank 1 is green. I love Lynn. I just posted on Twitter my Lynn auto battle team, and that kind of makes light of what she can do, because she can do a lot. She is incredible. I still love Sharena. I know I've heard a lot that the new Sharena is just her but better, but having a ranged unit that can do what she can do is better than you think, and I'm a big fan. I think this is a great unit. And then we of course have Vali, who I think is the better of the 2 units. I think she's more interesting and provides a lot more stuff. Blue. Athos is better than you think, but he's still not a premier nuke. So he's not someone you go out of the way of. Strangely, I'm still kind of amazed how quickly Baldur fell off. We talked about this a little bit, but the problem is all of the other Brave units, we found other uses for them. Like we continued to discover things you could do, and we never really did with Baldur. And Baldur is still an excellent nuke. Like that there's no doubt about that. But not quite as good. She's kind of become arch rival fodder, which pains me. She's a very good unit, but she is not she hasn't seen as much rise as the other units have. And then of course we have Alfador, and I think this is going to be a very fun unit to use. 3 is red, and Mythic is just okay. I love Elm, I'm a huge fan. So if you're deciding if you want Elm or Alfador as your core, wait a little bit and see what we discover about Alfador. Right now, I'm saying I'd rather have Elm, but I think we want to explore if there's depth past the scam showcases. And Byleth is honestly an incredible unit still. I really, really enjoy playing with the unit. He's kind of fantastic. 4. 4 is my boy Rune, and I like Rune, but he's definitely fallen off a bit. We have Lorathor, who's still good, but you really only need one of him. And you do have Brave Ecthanir, who has been surprisingly good. And especially if you think about him paired with someone like Vali, I mean, you get that extra miracle effect, which he really, really wants. So keep that in mind. I think that could be a fun pairing there. But this is it. The other thing, if you want to pay attention to the 50th percentile, this is what it takes to summon a single unit. So I'm looking at this. On average, are you going to get this unit before the Spark, which is generally around the 160 orb version? For most of these, the odds are yes. Green is always better. What you want to pay attention to is that colorless has actually leveled out. The beginning of the year was very, very high and was the worst color by far. It's actually evened out between red, blue, and colorless. So it is interesting to watch. But yeah, this is the banner. This is a good banner. Be cautious. Be very, very cautious with your orbs. This is a tough time to summon right now. If you're a Vali fan, I have a link to that merch right here. Go and click that. Members, you are amazing. Thank you for all you do. Take care and schedule an appointment with your FEHologist real soon.